Last Friday, I bought this abandoned Victorian home. 6 days in so far, and nothing is going according to plan.
This is already done.
That's why the shit's wonky because it's wrong the whole time.
So in this video, I'm going to document the entire start to finish journey. So the story of this house is just as crazy as the deal I had to make to get it. So this house actually sat on the market for a while and no one bought it. And you might be saying to yourself, how is that possible? Because I can see it. It looks quite nice. You're right. And you're also wrong. The floors are almost a foot different height-wise, depending on where you are in the house. It almost makes you seasick to go inside. And then on top of that, all the windows are not operable. Nothing, you can't open a window. To make matters even worse, on the inspection report, because we did get an inspection report, there was a foundation issue. So right there, those are thousands of dollars of repairs. Contractor quoted $77,000 in labor for this. The materials we priced out at around $20,000 to $25,000, and that includes appliances, cabinets, everything else. So currently, we're at a total of $115,000. It's only been a week. Remember, it was only $100,000 that we had from the investor for this project, and we're already $15,000 over it. It feels like every time I blink, like another $10,000 disappeared, and we're not even halfway through the video. So just buckle up because it gets a lot worse. Number one, look at this house. There's almost never a chance in real estate to buy something as historic and interesting, where you can put your creativity into it, where you can also go and find the backstory to it. And this house has an insane history, and I'm still digging up more secrets daily. Neighbors literally drop by to tell me stories. There was a guy that came last week in a 1950s style pickup truck, and he slowed down. I thought he just wanted to look at the house, and said, "Hey, I used to live here." I said, "That's amazing, very cool." I said, "Do you want to come in?" He said, "No, I'm fine out here. I'll just stay put. But I have a box of history about this house that I think you should see," which sounds really creepy. But I chose to make it, in my mind, a happy story. And I told him, yeah, okay, I'll look at it. And he has not brought it back. Jury's still out on if it's a good history or bad history, but that's not the point. The point is that this is extremely unique. And most of the time you just get these standard cookie cutter houses. Why the hell are you keeping that? Is probably a question that you're going to ask yourself throughout this series. And I'm going to tell you, these mantles, you see this wood mantle right there? That is a historic gem, and they will stay with this house if it's the last thing I do. No mantles are being moved, or no mantles are being relocated. They'll be moved, so we take off the drywall and then we'll put them back. You know what else doesn't get done in a historic house? Painting mantles. These mantles are over 100 years old, and they're not going to be painted by some trendy new fab color that Pantone or whatever chose in 2025. Not going to do it. They stay all wood.
Okay, let me tell you what we want to do up here, and this is what we're thinking in terms of the design.
Something we have not been able to figure out is what to do with this trunk room. If you're unfamiliar with the trunk room, it is where people back in the day used to store their trunks. Originally, we're going to try to make it a third bedroom, but with that space, there's just not enough. There's just no way. So we came up with the idea to do something a little crazy, but of course, it's costing more money out of our budget.
Oh my God. Okay, coming into this room and making that a big closet. So we are going to wall this off, we think. Wall this right here. Make this a closet for that master bedroom, and make this just like a really cool, like Sex in the City type sitting room, kind of like a boudoir kind of thing, so to speak.
Okay, they smashed it out in a hurry, and they charged me another $5,000 to do this. And I want y'all to look and tell me if you think it's worth it. All right, Aaron, here, and then you come in, then we have this little like area, one door there, one door here, and then you come right in, and then you have your massive fucking,
Look at this.
bam, massive fucking closet, which goes into your other massive fucking closet.
This is awesome.
As is so typical with real estate investing, as soon as one celebration ends, another challenge begins. And this next one has the potential to cost a lot of money.
than we're thinking is going to be the big bathroom for all of upstairs. This second bathroom, we're going to get rid of the full bath part of it, but we will be able to keep a half bath of it.
We demoed both of them, but they were both small and you couldn't fit exactly what you wanted to. Another historic element of this home is a clawfoot tub, and I'll be damned, I'm keeping all the history in this house, and I just couldn't do it with 2 bathrooms back to back. So I had to do a change order, which cost me $5,000, and we blew out the wall, and we're making one big bathroom suite.
Aaron, so
look at this. I think it looks absolutely amazing.
Laundry in there, shower right there, and then tub right there. We're gonna put a double vanity there, but it's a little tight. What do you think?
And we also have the 1908 original door from this house, and we could not figure out what to do with it because I am terrible at designing things. So we asked Instagram what to do with the door, came up with a great idea of putting it on the bedroom that leads to the back porch. I thought that was an amazing idea because you couldn't put it inside. It was an exterior door, and you didn't want to put it back originally on the house because we already had a door. Okay, we are back downstairs in the kitchen area now, and it's about to get even more expensive. So now would be a good time for us to have a little catch up about the numbers. Last time we checked in, we were at about $115,000, reminding you that the budget was only $100,000. Since the $115,000 though, we had to open up the shower and do more demo in there. So that's another $5,000. And we did another $5,000 of a closet. So we're now at $125,000 in our budget, which is not good. That's 25% over, which is absolutely terrible. On top of that, we're having them open up the kitchen as well. And I can't even remember if that was included in our change order budget already, or if I'm still waiting on the invoice with that. I know that they're doing an entire island, a custom island for us. And honestly, since I know what's coming, the biggest surprise expense, you're going to see it in this episode, but it's still yet to come.
I wanted to call for the order that Dean was working on, for the cabinets that they all pulled forward and everything. What happened with that?
Every real estate investor has their favorite days. The days when they feel like they're actually making progress. The day that they feel like things are moving forward. And it's different for everybody. But for me, it's always been when painting happens. I don't care if they're only painting one room and the rest of the house is still down to the studs. Something about watching primer go up on a wall to me says, all right, we are actually going to make this project happen. And I have not picked the exterior paint color. We obviously cannot leave it blue. So as you can see right here, once again, I'm letting Instagram design the house. I have no design aesthetic. Your boy has been sleeping on a mattress on the floor for most of his adult life. So I let Instagram decide. People overwhelmingly chimed in when I asked for a paint color, and they voted for light beige with bright white trim. This is us trying out all the samples and all the swaths on the house just to double check that Instagram made the right decision. The neighbors loved the Instagram decision, and everything was going according to plan until it once again spiraled out of control and is threatening to ruin this entire project.
So we were struggling to figure out what the right paint color here would be. We have a couple different options. We're thinking maybe this one, or maybe this one with some white trim. Problem is, they're gonna be expensive.
So then we made a decision and we said, okay, start with the trim. So you can see right here, they are going and doing all the trim around the house white, which I think is just absolutely beautiful. It really makes the thing pop. The neighbors dropped by. As you can see right here, the neighbors, I took them through the house because you really want to show, here's a pro tip as well for renovations. It's very tempting just to do renovations. It's your house, it's your money, it's your cruise, by yourself and not ask anyone's opinion and just say, this is what I like, so I'm going to make it happen. That's very valid. However, neighbors are affected by renovations. Sometimes they are up all night listening to the renovation. Sometimes they get woken up in the morning by the guys when they're coming to the job. So it's very inconvenient sometimes for a neighbor. And I always found a way to handle that is to knock on your doors to the neighbors, introduce yourself, and invite them into the process. There was a neighbor on the right side, you can actually see her house right here, and she was so mean to the guys, that the guys would text me every morning and say, hey, she's out here like harassing us. And one day it got so bad she called the cops, and the cops came by. And I said, oh God, I have to talk to her. So I drove there and she wasn't around, but she did text me later that night. And she said, hey, I'm the neighbor and I'm, fed up with this, this, and this. But I jumped in and I said, listen, anything that they did wrong, you let me know, we're going to fix it. And let me know any kind of ongoing complaints you have and I'll greatly address them. But then I also said, hey, listen, I need your opinion. Your house is beautiful. It is beautiful. And I love what you did with the place. We're trying to make this as nice as possible. What do you think about this paint color? And ever since then, her and I are buddies. We talk about the paint colors, we talk about the landscaping, we talk about what we like and don't like. However, her opinion did not save me from what could potentially be the worst mistake of this entire renovation process that I just made. We had all those samples painted on the house. And as soon as they dried, I said, okay, this is the one. Let's rock and roll with this one all across the exterior. I absolutely love it. They did that. And they did that in about a day. So they really crushed it. And I came back the next day and I looked at the paint color that was painted all over my house that we were already over our budget on. And I did not like it. You can see the paint color right here. For some reason, I pulled up the next day and there was just a lump in my throat. I just felt nauseous, knowing that this is not how I wanted it to look. And what happened, Stephen? What, did you change it? Did you not change it? Well, I asked them how much it would cost to change it. And they said it's going to cost $8,000 to change that exterior paint color. And I don't know what to do.
This was supposed to be white. I don't know if I like it or not. It kind of turned out tan. What do we think?
I'm going to ask y'all the same thing. Here's a video of some of the neighbors' houses just for context. Now, would you keep it or would you change it? Overwhelmingly, the Instagram votes came in and 67% of people said it's fine, save your money. So exhausted by my indecisiveness, I let the guys go back to work. Probably not going to be too happy though, because as you know, we make these videos in real time. And just last night, I'm going to change that ceiling color on the porch to a haint blue, which is a more historic element that we need to introduce in. Something that's been bothering me about this house the entire time is a historic home renovation should look like a historic home. I see things online all the time where people take these beautiful historic antiques and make them these newly modern cookie cutter new construction type homes. And for some reason, as we were going through this process, it felt like we were doing the same thing here. So that's been on my mind over the last couple days. And I think I've come up with some clever solutions about what to do, particularly on the exterior. This is just starting to look like a new construction home, and I don't love it. The only problem is it's going to cost us a lot more money. So one night at around 2 in the morning, as I was scrolling through Pinterest looking at Victorian homes, I noticed something. They all have a very unique look on their exterior. You might see it too, but mainly to do with something that they call gingerbread trim. And I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. So I wanted to get it all over our house and put it everywhere. I think that would help me hate the paint color less and help it just look really gorgeous. But there is a huge problem with that. Take a look at these old pictures of the house and tell me if you see the problem. You'll probably spot it right away. It took me a second. You see that little piece of metal on the left side of the door? Well, I'm going to zoom in on something similar from a different screenshot, and you can see what our issue is. It's on the National Register of Historic Places. This one little piece of metal ties our hands in so many different ways. We have to do approvals and submit plans and ask questions and this, and that. So in order to do any trim, we're going to have to go through an incredible, insane application and approval process. And the worst part about that is it's going to increase our already increased timelines. And I'm not sure that if we add trim, we're going to be able to make it on time. But today, I kind of wish trim was our biggest problem.
So that's a new crew that started, and I like them. The old crew was kind of taking advantage, so gave them a long leash, and they took it and they didn't perform. So we got rid of them and brought a new crew in, and this new crew is absolutely killing it, is being absolutely savage on it. Treat them well, they treat me well. We can stay in business together forever, and I wish we could. So I'm very, very hopeful about this new crew.
As much as it sucks losing people that you were close to and enjoyed working with a lot of the time, the show must go on, if you will, and these timelines are not letting up. As we creep closer and closer and closer to the 90 days, we have got to get this project back on track and back on time. Luckily, we are making some pretty good progress. Look at that porch, already a finished porch out back off the second bedroom. And to celebrate, we had the neighbors over to show them what we had been designing and what they think about the house so far. So far, so good, according to the neighbors. And that's what you want, because if the neighbors don't like you, they can make your life really, really difficult. I should have bribed them with some sort of like drinks or snacks or something. Decision fatigue is a huge issue when you get into real estate investing and real estate renovations. Everyone deals with it differently. Steve Jobs was famous for wearing the exact same clothes every day, so he wouldn't have to make little decisions that tired him out. Around here, we do it a little differently. You're about to see a coin flip. And what's riding on this coin flip, you might ask? Well, thousands of dollars. The construction head says we should spend $3,000 to upgrade the bathroom in the back bedroom. I said, let's keep it the same and just stick with the $2,000 budget. Heads or tails? Tails I win, heads he wins.
Tails!
Because while we were away, something unexpected popped up. We had originally taken out the wall and gotten approvals that all the structural supports were needed to create an entire open concept. That turned out to be false. I will save you the long story for a different video. However, we had to put our wall back up. I do think that we can save it aesthetically. It is making us even more over budget than we already are. Without having enough budget, this entire project is going to stop. So we are on literally penny pinching, nickel and diming mode. Unfortunately, it's time to make another paint color decision. The last one almost wrecked me. And now we have the interior paint colors, which honestly is probably even more important.
3 or 4 more color. 5.
I'll let you help me decide if you want to. The one on top has some strong yellow undertones, and the one on the bottom is called Greek Villa. That's a piece of trim, just for reference. While we're deciding, we decided to let them mud and to prep, because they are ready and raring to go. And once again, our timelines are ticking down every day. What I want you to look at here is the closet. Do you remember that trunk room that we have? If not, you can go back and watch the first video where I introduced this entire project, but we had a trunk room that we didn't know what to do with. Now we fashioned it into a closet, which I think is going to look absolutely gorgeous. It maintains the antiquity of the trunk room, it maintains the history, but it also gives you the modern elements that you need in a house, which is a huge closet. For all this American consumerism, I'm just teasing, I'm here for it. Is I don't know how to make the doors look chic and cool. Do you put glass doors on a closet in your master bedroom to your closet? Do you do like some sort of sliding door? I don't know. We have to figure that out, because it can really make or break the room. And I am shocked I've never showed you any inspo pictures from here and what we're going for. So this is the inspo for the closet. Now, a quick caveat on this. This is a screenshot from a Victorian home renovation from a rich person. So we're not rich people. It's not gonna look like this. But we're trying to go for like a Temu version of this so we can keep it affordable. Here's some other inspo though. This is kind of the bathroom vibes we're going for. What Aaron the Realtor calls it is French contemporary. Strong molding on the ceiling and strong trim, strong crown molding. This is the living room. Just very light, airy, but also rich. We're going for rich without actually being rich. You know what I mean? And this is my favorite picture by far, is this kitchen picture. And I do have something very controversial to say about this kitchen. I saw on Instagram these two guys that were very fashion forward and all their stuff looked great. But one of their biggest pet peeves was being able to see appliances in a kitchen. I have never once thought about appliances in a kitchen and if you should be able to see them or not. Well, spoiler alert, you're not supposed to be able to see them. The guys think it's trashy. And now, every time I look at a kitchen, that's all I can see is trashy appliances. So we're going to try really hard to hide the appliances in this kitchen. I am an idiot. You're going to see this idiot face right here. This is the face of someone that realized that they just fucked up majorly. Okay, look at this. This is a picture of our house. Do you see this driveway where we're painting the sides of the house? That's the neighbor driveway. Where's our driveway, you might ask? That would be a really good question. Because, spoiler alert, we don't have one. Well, we do, but we don't. We have a shared one with the other neighbor on the left. I completely forgot about that. Absolutely slipped my mind. How does that slip my mind? I don't know. There's a million other more pressing things that day, I thought. But I probably should have put that on a post-it note or something somewhere, because that's a big damn deal. And if we can't figure out how to maneuver a driveway somewhere, that could cost us up to $50,000. And if that's the case, then none of this project is worth it, and there's absolutely no profit. And worse than that, the investor's not going to make any profit either.
Probably the worst thing that can happen on a flip is a stop work order, and that's what we got.
Yesterday, I got a frantic call from the construction foreman that says you need to get down here immediately. I was in Miami, so I booked a one-way flight back that same night because the city man had come in and told everyone to vacate the premises. So we had 16 guys that could no longer work anymore. So I got my ass to the city real quick. As y'all remember, we only have 90 days to complete this flip, or my investor is charging us a huge penalty for the overages, and we're already on almost day 50 by this point. And if y'all have ever dealt with a city or government organization, you would realize something. They're on their own timelines. It makes me very frustrated because obviously we are on timelines, and the woman that I needed to talk to was not there. So I did get her card, and I emailed her twice when I was in the parking lot and called her again to leave a message. You're probably asking yourself, well, what was the stop work order all about? And your guess is really as good as mine, because we have gotten approvals for every single thing that we've done, except for one thing. I remember specifically asking before I purchased this house, do we need approvals for an exterior paint color? Because it's an historic home, and 9 times out of 10, you need approvals. I was told that we didn't need approvals, but that's my fault. And I have another huge apology to issue, because about an hour after I got back to the job site, I had an email from the city. Number 1, the lady was super nice. She was from the historic board. Number 2, she put me in contact with the number 1 person I need to talk to before I go to her, who's the number 2 person. So the number 1 person was also super freaking nice and gave me an application to fill out, and they had an additional question about the layout. So I went through and marked exactly where we're doing our archway doors and our closets, because for some reason they didn't have an update with that. So I told them we're going to do one into the living room right there. We're going to actually do one from the kitchen to the living room, which you can't see right there, but we are having to add that archway back. And then we're doing one upstairs, of course, in our master closet. So I'm assuming that cleared it up, but I still have not gotten any sort of approval that we can move forward yet. So it could be weeks, it could be months. However, not all is lost, because they still were able to make an amazing amount of progress before they did get shut down.
This bathroom is sexy, way sexier than I thought it was going to be. For some reason, this just looks so good. We have our tub right there, the historic tub, and then a huge bathroom, some his and hers, or his and his, or hers and hers sink. And we need to figure out something kind of fun to do here, because when you walk in, it's a little boring. So any ideas that y'all have would be awesome.
In addition to the bathroom getting done, we put some sick steps on the front porch. Now, this is another thing that I think might have gotten us in trouble with the city. After we did these steps, we put a little bit of shiplap on the base because the base is ugly and concrete and just looks like shit. So we put a little shiplap on there. However, I think that was bad too, because I think that the shiplap triggered some sort of historic bad thing and we had to go fix it. They also made a shit ton of progress up in the master bedroom, which is great. As soon as I bought this home, someone came by in this very 1970s looking old pickup truck, slowed down and said very mysteriously, "Have you heard the history of this house?" And at that point, I was pretty overwhelmed, and he was giving off bad vibes. So I said, "No, I didn't." And he said, "Well, a lot has happened here, and I'm going to bring by a box for you to look at." And I kind of internally, I was like, I wish you wouldn't. But this week he came back by, and what he brought shocked us all. I was over at the house looking at the medallions that had just came in, just to see if they were something that we liked. And it turned out we did like them. And while we were reaching for the next box, we discovered something that was not there the day before. Oh, this is cool. I think he must have brought it over, right? Oh, dope.
Lori, what photograph is? Did somebody bring those or you found them? In a bucket?
There was photographs and documents from the neighborhood's entire history, but what we found next made me actually pretty emotional. That's so cool. I think this is so cool.
Is that it? For real?
Yeah, right? And what we found in the back of the box was the oldest picture that we have of the home that shows a mother, her dog, and her young son back in what I believe was the 1930s. I took it outside and put it in front of our home, and something about that picture made me so emotional to think that we have an opportunity and we are a small piece in the history and the timeline of this entire home that has seen generations of people love, live in it, pass away in it, and send it to a next generation. Something about seeing the dog and the kid was really impactful. And as I'm sure they had to think about too, we have to think about bills right now. So we are getting back to work. And I want to show you some of the design inspo that we're going for. I touched a little bit on that in the last episode, but there's been some choices that we have to make that I'm going to really need your help with, because these choices could make or break this entire project, and I'm really struggling with them. So I need your help. We're going to start this out on beginner mode, and I'm going to show you the easy choices first, and then we're going to scale up to expert level design choices that I need your help with. So this is kind of the inspo that we're going for, and I just felt that we were giving too much of an open concept here. And of course we want to preserve the history. So we're thinking about doing some sort of arches and archways, right? Okay, that's the easy question first, because I think everyone can get on board with liking archways. Are you ready to scale it up and make it a little more difficult? Well, now we have to get into some lighting. Now, once again, this is a Victorian home that has a long history that we want to update and meet in the middle of modern and historic. So these are some of the lighting choices and design elements that we're thinking about doing throughout the home. Some of these could be in the living room, and some of these can be, pendant lights above the island and in the dining room. So what do y'all think about all those? Drop your comments in there. All right, so that's the medium out of the way. Now it's going to get a lot harder. You can see we put up some molding. We're going to put them panels all throughout the walls. Are we going to be able to get this project done in time and on budget? Well, on budget, no, because we've already gone over budget. In time, though, maybe still. We got our island in, and the tile is down, and things are starting to generally take shape. Now, can we still sustain this timeline since we're not going to have a crew on Monday? I don't know. I definitely don't know. We're going to have to problem solve, and I'm telling you my problem solving around that in a second. But you can see what design choices we're going for. We're going for a dark green fog, I think it's what it's called, on the cabinets and on the island. And we also got this expensive freaking refrigerator that you can do panel doors. So the doors are gonna be hidden, which I think is great. Do you see the door that they're working on right now? That leads to the master bedroom. That's a huge problem according to the realtor, because usually you'd walk out there and you can go outside to your little outdoor area, but now you're gonna have to go through a bedroom. I still think it's fine because we have we have a huge shower and a huge closet in there. It should be fine, but the realtor is really giving me some flack about it. But I don't really know what else to do. We had to stick a bedroom in there, like what the hell are you supposed to do? Anyway, we're at about $142,000 right now. Our original rehab budget was $100, so we have gone over that by 42%, and that is something that you're just going to see all the time in house flipping. You really do. And what's unfortunate is that lots of these rehab draws are contingent upon the house being done. So if the crew's not there getting the work done, I can't get my rehab draws, which means my entire business cash flow is screwed up, which ergo means that it's going to be really hard to buy this next house because the cash flow is not there.
Surprise, surprise, we are done. So how did it go? Let's do a recap because it got even more interesting since the last video I filmed. We brought a crew in that had a project manager, a new project manager, the son of one of my investors, and he brought a crew in that I believe some of them were homeless because I believe they were living in the house at night, and I believe they were smoking meth. So needless to say, their tile work wasn't great, and I walked in towards the end of the project and there was mismatched tiles all put on the walls, and we didn't have any money to fix it, so we had to rock and roll with those tiles. But got a new crew in, and I think it's looking beautiful. We turned the electricity off because when it was sitting on the market, the bills were like $600 a month, so we're not doing that. But I can show you right here in this video the walkthrough, and I'm gonna show you the listing photos. I think they turned out chef's kiss. So, did we make our 90-day goal? Of course not. We blew right past it. It's actually been almost a year. Shocking, I know, shocked me because I've been paying the $4,000 a month to hold on to that for the last year. Not good, it's a lot of money. And then we listed it for $499 and got a couple showings. People came in, they didn't love it. So then we had to drop the price. We dropped the price for $475, still nothing, dropped it to $449, which is about $50,000 less than the neighbor on the left sold for, and about $150,000 less than the neighbor on the right, even though that was kind of semi-new construction. So we're just sitting and waiting right now. And since I didn't want to pay the bills anymore on that mortgage, then I found someone to rent it. So someone's going to rent it on a month-to-month basis. And I talked to the person's dad because it's a kind of a college-age kid and her roommates. And then the dad's going to do personal guarantee for the rent, which is very, very good, and I'm happy to have them there. And they're gonna be month to month until May. I gave them a discount on the rent so they would let showings in because we're gonna keep it on the market. So at least you can hold out for your highest price if your carrying costs are dialed back and turned back as much as possible. So getting a renter in there is gonna allow us to hold out for, hopefully a price closer to what we want, around that $450. So kind of a crazy thing. I learned that I'm not doing any more house flips this year unless it's like a really, really great opportunity. I am still working on one right now and I'll do a video about that, but I'm leaning all into wholesaling. It fits way more my personality type, way more my energy level. It goes quick, there's no investors, there's no construction crews, there's none of the detail-oriented minutia that I hate so much. It's all sales, all deal making, all fun, all high energy all the time. So I really wanna be a business that is going fast and is remote and fits more my life, right? As opposed to having to fit into the house flipper's life. I want a business to fit my life, which is freedom and fun and making deals and speed. And I like that adrenaline of that. So that's what we're leaning into in 2026. Watch all the videos. I will document the other process and reach out if you want some coaching because I'm very good at what not to do. No, I've done this a million times, so I will be able to help you avoid some of the mistakes that I've made.